Yep, still sick as a dog. But we're going to continue to learn about slope anyway. In this video, you're going to calculate slope from two given points. I recommend that you grab two different colored highlighters or markers because I'm going to teach you some color coding strategies that we're going to use in the graphic organizer. So if you need to go get those things, you can pause this video now and go grab them. Okay. As a review, slope is the change in y over the change in x. Or, as we used in class, the change in y is when we rise, and the change in x is when we run. So we use rise over run to find slope from a graph. Another way to calculate slope is from two given points. These 2 points are points that are on a specific line. We want to know what the slope is of that line. From 2 given points, we have an x1 and an x2. Then we have a y1 and a y2. The x1, y1 is in the first ordered pair. The x2 and y2 are in the second ordered pair. That's really important in applying these 2 points to slope. This is the formula that we use to find slope from 2 points. M, which means slope, you take your y2 minus your y1. Actually, I should use consistently the same color. Over your x2 minus your x1. Again, this is another way to represent your change in y over your change in x. What I'm going to recommend when we do problems like this is that you highlight your x terms and you highlight your y terms. So let's start off by subtracting our y's. So we're going to take our y2, which is 5, and subtract it from our y1, which is 3. Then I'm going to take 12, which is my x2, and subtract 9 from 12, which is my x1. 5 minus 3 is 2. 12 minus 9 is 3. So the slope of this line is 2 over 3. Let's look at another example. I'm going to highlight my x values, which come first in both ordered pairs. Highlight my y values, which come second in my ordered pairs. I'm going to subtract 9 minus 4 over 10 minus 2. And I highly recommend that you highlight these because some kids start to get confused on which ones to subtract. So always subtract your x values, which come first, then your y values, which come second. 9 minus 4 is 5. 10 minus 2 is 8. So this slope is 5 over 8. Let's look at one more example before our graphic organizer. Highlight my x values. Highlight my y values. I'm going to start with my y values. I'm going to do 11 minus 2. Over 3 minus 1. 11 minus 2 is 9. 3 minus 1 is 2. Actually, there's 2 more examples I want to point out because they're what we call a little bit more special. I'm going to highlight my x values. highlight my y values, and subtract my y's. I'm going to start with my y2 minus y1, just 5 minus 5, 4 minus 2 are my x values. 5 minus 5 is 0. 4 minus 2 is 2. 0 divided by 2 is 0. So just a little trick to avoid all of this work here. Anytime your y values are the same, your slope is always going to be 0. Now in contrast with that, let's look at this problem here. I'm going to highlight my x, highlight my y, y2 minus y1, which is 8 minus 4, over x2 minus x1, which is 4 minus 4. 8 minus 4 is 4. 4 minus 4 is 0. If I do 4 divided by 0, what? You cannot divide by 0. And even the calculator proves that. Anytime your x values are the same is going to lead to a 0 in the denominator. When that's the case, this is an undefined slope because you can't divide by 0. So in order to avoid all this work, if your x values are the same, it's undefined. If your y values are the same, your slope is 0. Okay, I want you to take out your graphic organizer. At the top, I have the y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. I'm going to use yellow. Whoa. Well, that's not going to work out. I'm going to use yellow for my y values. Actually, I should keep it consistent. Wow, I'm getting old. I'll use blue for my y values and yellow for my x values. You can use whatever colors you want at home. Just make sure you have two colors to differentiate between your x and your y. So the first step is highlight and label your x and y terms. x1, y1, x2, y2. Subtract your y2 minus your y1. So I'm going to take negative 4 minus 8 negative 4 minus 8. Once I start applying negative numbers, I recommend you use a calculator just to check your work. Negative 4 minus 8 gives us negative 12. Next step, subtract your x values. So I'm going to take my x2 minus my x1, which is 2 minus 5, which gives me negative 3. Simplify it if possible. So my slope is negative 12 over negative 3. My y value is on top. My x value on the bottom. In this case, I can simplify. Negative 12 divided by negative 3 gives me a slope of m is equal to 4. Okay? If you need to go back and review any parts of the video, you may. We're going to practice this a little bit more in class tomorrow to kind of help you gain a deeper understanding of the work, and we're going to continue to apply these strategies to help you with this multi-step concept. All right, everyone, have a good night, and off to bed I go. Why are you watching me sleep?